Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards, and I am so glad that you are here today. We have four cards that we're going to make. I hope all of you are doing well. I'm just going to click a little button there. All right. Well, today is my monthly online card class. This is a class that I do in person, but I also do it online. So everybody can watch. And then if you would like to have the me to send you the kit to make the four cards, then all you need to do is place an order with me. So I will tell you more about that. So we have a variety of cards that we're going to make today, some all occasion and some Christmas cards. So let me turn the camera down and we will get started. But before we do that, I do have one of the cards is using a sneak peek of some new product coming in November. It will be released in November, some online exclusive. So I'm going to be using a new product for one of the cards today. All right, let's go ahead and turn the camera down. Please say hi. Let me know where you're watching from as you jump on. Let's get some lights on. All right. Well, we're going to, for the first card, we're going to use two stamp sets. We're going to use pine tree trimmings, and we're going to be using this tree right here. And then we're also going to be using Jolly Holly. And I like this Jolly Holly stamp set because it has lots of neat sentiments and also images, but we're going to use the Merry and the Christmas. So we're going to use a sentiment from Jolly Holly, and we're going to use the tree from Pine Tree Trimmings, plus we're going to be using a embossing folder that goes with Jolly Holly. Of course, you can get it separately, and it's a hybrid in embossing folder, but we're just going to use it as a regular embossing folder today for our first card. So let me show you our first card. Here it is. Merry Christmas. I have the cherry cobbler cardstock layer embossed, as well as the white piece here layer. But as you know, we need to do stamping before we can emboss, because you always want to stamp and then emboss if you're going to do some embossing. The inside, may the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. And you know what? That comes from Jolly Holly, and I did not add that to our stamp or to our block, but we can easily do that, right? Okay, so I like to use my grid paper. There we go. Okay, so that's not quite straight. So let's try that again. I think that'll work. Okay, let's make this card. Hi, Maria. How you doing? You are catching me live. Yes, you are. Awesome. So we're going to start with the cherry cobbler, and this is just our basic card base. It is 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4.25. So I'll just bring in my bone folder. And so these are all the pieces that we're going to need, and this is what I would be sending to you. So we have a basic white layer, that we have two basic white layers, and we're going to layer our cherry cobbler onto one of the basic white. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to lay those aside. Isn't that pretty? I just love that Jolly Holly embossing folder. So if you don't have that yet, you might want to add that to an order. And I have some fun things to talk about during Barn Chats. So Barn Chats is at the end of my stamping, and it's when I tell you what's going on here in my studio at Rustic Barn Cards. I also let you know what's going on from Stampin' Up, and there are lots and lots of things. So I know you don't want to miss that today. So now I'm just going to layer those right on top of our card base. Hi, Sheila. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining. So then I'm going to layer this. Then I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to do some stamping. So this is going to be our inside layer. And we have two basic white. And so this basic white layer is 5 1/4 by 4. The cherry cobbler that I embossed, I already have that embossed, which you will get it embossed too if you place an order with me this week through midnight on Sunday. And so I can send you the card kit to make these cards. But the cherry cobbler is 5 by 3 3/4, and then I embossed it. So then you'll have two pieces of basic white. I usually put like a little S, so you know that's the one that you can stamp on. These are both the same, so it doesn't matter. This is going to go this way, though. Um, and so we're going to do some stamping. So I'm going to bring in our Old Olive first. And we are going to bring in our tree. So I'm going to bring in our pine tree, and I'm just going to ink that up in Old Olive, and I'm going to stamp that right here. And you can die cut this tree out, but I actually like to fussy cut it, which I've already done for you so you can save a little time. And then we're going to add some pine trees here. So I'm going to kind of go off to the left to kind of make it look like, there's a, large grove of trees. So we will stamp that about right here. And just down just a little bit. So just kind of like that. So it kind of makes it look like there's a grove of trees. And then I'm going to, since we have our Old Olive out, I'm going to bring in, this is the layer that's going to go inside. And it's also 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to ink up our little pine tree, and we'll just stamp that right in the lower left-hand corner, just like that. And then I think we are finished with our Old Olive. And then I'm going to bring in our cherry cobbler. And we are going to, may the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. Don't you just love that saying? So we're going to put that right here. And this will go inside our card. And then I am going to bring in Merry Christmas. And it's 2 different stamps, but I have put them on the same block. And then we're going to stamp that right there. All right. So now, so you just, again, you just take your scissors, your snips, and you can just, just cut this out. But just to save time, I have already done that. So that's ready to go. But we do want to emboss this piece here. So let's go ahead and bring our cut and emboss machine in so we can emboss the Merry Christmas layer. And this layer is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. All right, let's grab our embossing folder, and we're going to put this right in here. Try to line it up straight. And then the folded edge goes in, of course. Stampin' Up! Faces me. And then off we go. And there we have this beautifully embossed, and you can see those poinsettias. Okay, so we're going to bring in some cherry cobbler layer, and we're going to go ahead and layer that together. And the cherry cobbler layer is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So we'll get that lined up as straight as we can. And then I'm going to bring our card base back, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our this basic white for the insert. Sometimes I make them the same. Sometimes I make them 5 1/4 by 4, but on this particular one, this is 5 by 3 3/4. So either of those inside the basic white. So I wanted a little bit more of the cherry cobbler showing, a border showing around the basic white. So I made it a little bit small, smaller. So I made it 5 by 3 3/4. And then now we're going to pop this up. So we're going to bring in some dimensionals. So if you like these cards and you'd like me to send you some card pieces to make a card kit to make one of each of these 4 cards that we're making today, then place at least a $40 order with me through midnight this Sunday, October 26th. And I will send you the kit absolutely free by placing an order with me. And then if you place at least a $75 order with me, I will also send you the card kit plus a package of embellishments. All right, and now we're going to pop up this little tree that we stamped and cut out. And we're just going to kind of add him about right here. And then I'm going to bring in Early Espresso and Old Olive linen thread. I love linen thread. So we're going to make a bow. We're going to make a double bow. So I'll show you how to do that with the linen thread. So you just kind of have to estimate, but you double it over. So I doubled it. I'm going to cut it off. And then I have where I folded it over. So I'm going to cut right there. Hi, Lola. And then I am just going to go ahead and make a bow like normal. And then, of course, you can just kind of pull on it and get it kind of like you want. And after I put it on, I will trim these little edges. So let me grab a glue dot. And then I'm just going to bring that bow right there, peel off the glue dot, and I'm going to add that about right here on the little tree trunk. And then we are going to bring in our embellishments. And I'm using the Real Red and White adhesive back peppermints. I am so glad that we still have these this year. They were very popular last year, and so Stampin' Up! Has carried them over, and they are adorable. So you have different sizes. So we will just pick up, put one here, and we'll put one right there. And let's put one right there. So here is our first card, Merry Christmas. May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. So I have a couple Christmas cards today, and I have a couple of all occasion cards also. So let me move this out of the way, and let's start with our second card. So on this card, we're going to use Label Me Grateful, and we're going to use a thank you from this. And we're also going to be using Gallery Blooms, and we're using this image here. And let me show you the card that we're going to make. So here's the card that we're going to make. And again, it opens up, has some DSP down here. So it's a thank you card. So this is one of our all occasion cards. And the paper I have used is the 2025 to 2027 in color paper. So this is the in color paper of our new in colors, and that is what I am using in the Darling Duckling. And I think I just have a little bit of the Darling Duckling like this left. But so we'll get out our stamps, and we're going to be using black ink and Coastal Cabana for our inks today for this particular card. You will also get envelopes. I'm going to set this card up so I can. So you will get envelopes for the card pieces when you place your order with me, because I want you to send the cards, right? I want you to send the cards out. So this is kind of the pieces that you'll get. You get a card base. You'll have a Darling Duckling cardstock layer. You'll have a basic white to go inside your card. You'll have your designer series paper. Of course, you could use either side. That's your preference. Another strip to go inside. Your DSP goes inside. You'll have Darling Duckling strip for your sentiment. You'll have a basic white cardstock layer and a Melon Mambo cardstock layer. All right, well, let's go ahead and do our stamping first for this card. So we are going to stamp thank you and our flower image. So we're going to start with our black. Okay, Maria, take care. Talk to you later. Thanks for dropping by. I'm going to go ahead and ink up the thank you. And I'm going to kind of stamp it kind of in the middle. Just like that. I'm going to try to, excuse me, clean my stamps as I go, because otherwise, since we're making 4 cards, I'm going to have lots of ink on stamps, right? All right, so for this card, we're going to use Coastal Cabana, and we're going to ink up our flower image. And because it is a large stamp, I like to go ahead and bring the ink to the stamp. I just think I can get better coverage that way. And then I'm going to turn it this way just because it's easier. And I don't care if I don't have all that stem on there, but I do want that flower. So I do want to make sure that the top of the flower is on the basic white. All right. I'm going to clean that stamp. And I think that is all the stamping that we need to do. We just need to put our card together. So this is a quick and easy all occasion card. And we're going to go ahead and layer this on our melon mambo. I like saying melon mambo. And the melon mambo is cut at 2 3/4 by 4. And then this basic white is 2.5 by 3 3/4. And I know some of you are familiar with these cards because you attended my in-person card class this month, and these are the same cards that we used for our in-person, but now I'm offering them to those of you that don't live close to me, but you still want to offer you can still get the card kit by placing an order with me. So this is Darling Duckling, and yes, I'm going to use another layer of Darling Duckling. I just think it just kind of gives it sometimes to do the same color. And I think before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add our designer series paper. So let's go ahead and add our designer series paper. So the Darling Duckling is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And then this designer series paper, you know what, let's just go ahead and use this side. For my sample, we use this side, but let's just go ahead and use this side because why not? We can change our mind, right? And so the designer series paper is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. Then I have a sneak peek to show you. I have some brand new product on one of the cards that we're going to make. All right, now let's go ahead and we're going to add it on to the front of our card base. Okay, and now we're going to pop this up right here. So we're going to bring in our dimensionals. So it's going to put one in each corner, but I always like to put one in the middle just so it kind of doesn't, kind of sag. And then we're going to kind of put that right in the middle here. So we've got flowers and flowers, but I think that will be just fine. Then we're going to bring in basic white for the inside of our layer card, and it's 5 by 3 1/4. And then I have that designer series paper strip to add in here, and it is 1 by 3 3/4. But since we use the flowers, we want to use the flowers here. Now, because I cut it on to use this side, then there's a little bit of a ridge there, but you can take your bone folder and you can just go right across there and smooth that out. Okay. So we'll just add some adhesive. And we'll put that right at the bottom of our basic white. And turn it over to make sure it has good coverage. There we go. And then we're going to add this right inside our card base. All right, now we're going to add our sentiment strip. And because this is popped up, we do not need to put any dimensionals in the middle. So I'm going to put one on each end. And you could add a little adhesive here, but you really don't need to. So I'm just going to put a dimensional at each end of that strip. And then we're going to need some embellishments. And for this particular card, I used our basic rhinestones. This is, it's kind of like, I think linen thread should be in everybody's craft supplies. And these basic rhinestones are another, I guess they're rhinestone basic jewels, should be in everybody's uh, crafting area too. Just think this is kind of just a staple that everybody should have. And I do love the sparkle of our rhinestones. And here is our second card. It's a thank you card, an all occasion. So we've made one Christmas and we've made an all occasion card. All right. So now let me move these things out of the way so we can get to our next card. Just going to make sure that I didn't miss any comments. All right, we'll get that out of the way, and we're ready for card 3. All right, we're going to be using Jar of Joy. I'm going to be using just the sentiment, wishing you the sweetest Christmas for this. And a hexagon punch. I love punches. Everybody knows that if you watch me. I love punches. And we're going to be using these really pretty traditional sparkling sequins. And so that's what we're going to use for this card. And let me show you the card. Wishing you the sweetest Christmas. And we're going to be using real red and this beautiful real red ribbon today to make a bow. So this is a quick and easy Christmas card. So if you have to make multiples, lots of cards, this might be one that you might want to make. I know right now this paper, the Traditions of Christmas paper, is on back order, that it will come in before Christmas. So, and again, this is a quick card. So if you need to make a quick Christmas card, that paper just is the focal point, and it is beautiful. So here is that designer series paper, and so you got 2 sides. So we're going to, you'll be getting designer series paper. If you place an order with me to get the card kit, you will get the card base, which is real red, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This is Pool Party cardstock layer, 5 1/4 by 4. And then you also will receive a punched basic white hexagon punched out for you and an envelope. Plus you will have a basic white layer for the inside, which I'm going to grab. So you'll have a 5 by 3 1/4 layer for the inside. All right, let's go and put this card together, because this is really going to be quick and easy. So again, we all need quick and easy cards. And if you're making multiples, you definitely want that. So we're going to fold our card base, which is real red. And then we're going to take our Pool Party, and we're going to layer our designer series paper. So Pool Party is 5 1/4 by 4. And this designer series paper is 5 by 3 1/4. which is the same as our basic white layer that's going to go inside our card. So that pool party really brings out the pool party in that paper, doesn't it? But yet you still have the beautiful real red, showing. And so then we're just going to go ahead and layer that. Oh, hi, Judy. Well, I'm glad that you like the color combinations that I'm using. So we're just going to layer this right on here. Just like that. Then we're going to do some stamping. So we're going to bring in our little punch and real red. And we're going to be using from the Jar of Joy, wishing you the sweetest Christmas. So we'll just go ahead and ink this up. I always like to hang on to my ink pad when I ink. Otherwise, it kind of moves around, so I can hang on to it. And then I have more control. Just tap, tap, tap. And we will put this about right in the middle. Just straight down and straight up. Okay, let me clean that real quick. And that is all of the stamping that we're doing. I mean, this beautiful paper just really is the focal point. Now, you could add a greeting inside the card. I can get away with. Take these backings off. And I'll put that about right here. Trying to look that I have the same, but yet I don't want to get this beautiful poinsettia. I don't. There we go. That looks good. Now let's bring in this beautiful real red ribbon. And it's really, really nice and smooth and silky. So we're going to, the only thing is it's not shiny on both sides. It's shiny on one side. So sometimes I like to try to turn it. But you're always going to have something that's not going to be shiny. So I have everything shiny but the middle on for this. Or I could have this shiny and then one of these little sashes that wouldn't be. So, all right, let's go ahead and cut that off. And then let's go ahead and make it just a little bit smaller. And then pull on it to tighten it. And let's go ahead and bring our glue dots in. So I'm going to bring my bow to my glue dot. But then just to make sure that that is secured, I'm going to add more than one glue dot. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool. I'm going to pick up a glue dot, and then I'm just going to place it under there. And then I'm going to pick up another one and place it under there. Just to kind of to make sure that my bow is secure, especially if I'm going to mail this, then I want it to be, secure. And then, of course, we do need to add our basic white layer inside, which is cut at 5 by 3 3/4, because you want to write your greeting in here. Now, I did not add any embellishments on this card. You could. I just thought that designer series paper. Actually, I guess I did. I wasn't going to. I wasn't going to add any embellishments. But then I did decide that I would add our traditional sparkling sequins. So first I wasn't going to, but then these are so pretty, and you know, you have the um, pool party, you know, you have like the oat olive and the real red, and I'm not sure. Do you think we should we add the pool party, or should we add the red? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Should we add the blue, or should we add the red? You let me know. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way for our fourth and our sneak peek card for new product. And I'll get that set up. Well, you letting me know which one I should do. Out of the way. Should I use the blue or should I use the red? So Sheila, you say pool party, okay. It does, it will match that layer right there. I know I should have asked it sooner. Let's just go with pool party because we have that layer and that does kind of bring out. So we'll just put one right there. I like that. And maybe we'll put it right there. All right. So here is the card. Wishing you the sweetest Christmas with the pool party. I just love that paper. It's probably why it's so popular. All right. One more card. And this is the sneak peek. So let me show you. The sneak peek of the paper. So and some embellishments. So this is going to be released in November. It's called Hobby Haven. It's 12 by 12 designer series paper. So you get 10 sheets of designer series paper, 2 of 5 patterns, and then you also receive 2 sheets 12 by 12 of ephemera. So here is like books, and then you have baking, you have sewing, cross stitch, knitting, and then plants, and footstools and comfy chairs and rugs. And then the other one is kind of, you know, you've got a mask, you have kind of like sleeping or daily, like you have combs and towels and things like that. So you get 2 of each of those. And then on the back is this beautiful, it's like petal pink, coastal cabana, garden green. So again, you get 2 of each of these. So you get 10 sheets of designer series paper, and that is going to be released in November. And then you do get some sticker sheets, but it's kind of hard to pull those out because they'll all fall off. All right, let me show you the card we're going to make. Here is the card we're going to make. So grateful for that heart of yours. And let me show you how to make this fun fold. And we are using the sentiment from Label Me Grateful. We used it for the first card, thank you. And now we're going to use So Grateful for That Heart of Yours. It also has You're the Best, You're So Appreciated. A little kindness makes a big difference. I love all of the sentiments in Label Me Grateful. All right, we're going to start with a sheet of Coastal Cabana, 8.5 by 11. I'm going to show you how to make the card base. So we're going to cut this at 4.25 by 11. So it's already 11. So we're just going to cut it at 4.25. So one card base will make 2 cards, but we're just going to make one today. Then this dark is our cutting blade. I'm going to slide that out of the way, open up the iron, not the iron, but the arm of our trimmer. I'm going to turn our Coastal Cabana cardstock on the long side, and I'm going to put this edge at 2 inches. Take our lighter, our scoring, and I'm going to score. I like to go up and down several times. Then I'm going to score at 7.5. So I'm going to open our arm up. Good, Judy. I'm glad that you agree with Sheila Pool Party. So that I think that was the right decision. And then we're going to score this at 7.5. And that is all you need to do to make that card base. So it's a quick, fun fold. And then we just turn it over and go ahead and fold on the score lines. But you want to turn it so the smaller fold is on the right and the larger is on the left. So this is like the kit that you're going to get. So if you would like this kit sent to you, place an order with me through Sunday by midnight on the 26th of October. You place a $40 order with me before tax and shipping. I will send you one each of these pieces to make one each of these 4 cards. And if you place a $75 order with me, then I will send you the card kit plus a package of one of the embellishments that we're using today. So you're going to have a basic white layer, and that is going to be 5 3 3/4, and that is going to go right inside your card base. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Now the card that I showed you, we used books, but for this card, I'm going to be using the paper that has the sewing. So you have lots of options. Now, if you place an order with me, you will get, you might get the books, you might get the sewing, you might get the plants. So it just, and then let's go ahead. I'm going to just press that down one more time. So the designer series paper, this is cut at 4 by 3 1/4. So we're going to add that right over here on the left hand side. I think this is going to be really popular paper when it's released in, I think it's November 4th. I could be wrong, could be November 3rd, but it's just right at the beginning of November it will be released. But of course, right now we have this wonderful joint where you can purchase the starter kit for like $35 and choose $125 a product, and you can choose anything from the pre-order. So you could choose this paper to add to your starter kit. So that is a really good deal. And that just goes on for the month of October. So that's something to think about. So then we have this piece here, and this is cut at 1 3/4 by 4. And I could make it the same, but I want a little contrast. So I'm going to turn it over and do the back side. That's what I'm going to do on this front right-hand flap. But yes, this Stampin' Up! Has the best starter kit promotion I've ever seen. Um, so, and then you can get a discount for 6 months without doing anything else. And then you can decide whether you want to stay or not. So it is a great offer. I didn't press down on that because I wanted to make sure that I had this lined up with the top and the bottom, and it looks like I do. So now I can go ahead and press down on that. Okay, I'm going to lay that aside, and I have a circle. I used a punch, 2 3/8, and early espresso, and then one just a little bit smaller in basic white. And then we have a cross stitch ephemera that we're going to add. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my early espresso ink, and we're going to stamp So Grateful for That Heart of yours. Of course, you could put any sentiment, that whatever you have, so you could just use whatever you have in your stash for the sentiments. I guess I didn't put my phone on silent, did I? All right, so now we're going to layer the basic white right onto the early espresso. Just like that. And then we're going to bring this back in, our card base, and we're going to use dimensionals. I'm going to use dimensionals on this card here. I did not. I just put adhesive. But I think today I'm going to add it. I'm going to pop up this side. But you have to be careful because you can't put adhesive or dimensionals all over this, or you won't be able to open your card. So you want to kind of place it, get placement, so you have about the same amount of space on the top and the bottom, and then kind of look at that for you, how you kind of want to lay that. And you're going to put the adhesive over on this side so you can still open the card. So I am going to just turn it over like that, and I'm going to put my dimensionals over here. But again, you could just put adhesive, but still you would just want adhesive on one side, or your dimensionals. Okay. So again, I'm going to kind of line that up. Look, just kind of looking to make sure that I have about the same amount here as I do here. And then I am going to bring in the, we used the early espresso and old olive linen thread pack. Comes one of each. We used the old olive earlier, so I'm going to be using the early espresso now, and I already tied a bow earlier, so I'll bring that in. And then I'm going to bring our cross stitch, and we're going to lay that about right there. So I'm going to, since this has dimensionals on it, I'm going to add just a little adhesive here, and then I will pop up on this side. So I'll add a couple dimensionals there. Take the backings off and just put a little adhesive about right here. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring in our glue dots. And since this is kind of small, you can take your pick tool, and you can just kind of roll that glue dot up, and you can actually just add it right here on your card. And then you can take your linen thread bow, and then just add it right like that. Okay, now we're going to use, the paper is brand new. Here are the earthy matte dots that matches this beautiful paper. The paper is called Hobby Haven. I guess I already opened it this way. So you have beautiful earthy tones. So on this card, I used the blue, but I think I'm going to use the early espresso for this card here. And so I'm going to go ahead and put one right there. And then we'll pick up one there. All right, so here is our fourth card. And let's look at all of the cards. So here is the first card that we made. It's a Christmas card. Then we had made a thank you card. We did a quick and easy Christmas card. And then we have the sneak peek of the brand new Hobby Haven paper with the ephemera stickers and the earthy matte embellishments. So I hope that you like the cards. And it is, let's see, I'm not sure why I can't get to my, I'm trying to, let's see here. There we go. All right. It is time for Barn Chats. That's what I am trying to do. Okay, so lots of exciting things. So the first thing for Barn Chats that I want to talk about is free shipping. That is so exciting. Starting tomorrow for 3 days only. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, free shipping on all orders from Stampin' Up! Of $75 or more. So if you place an order with me of $40, I will send you a kit to make one of each of the 4 cards that I shared today. If you place a $75 order with me this tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, you will get free shipping from Stampin' Up! You'll get a card kit to make one each of the 4 cards I shared today. Plus, I will send you a free brand new package of embellishments. So that is really awesome that free shipping lands on my monthly online card class. All right. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the 12 weeks of Christmas. If you are receiving my emails, then you are getting the 12 weeks of Christmas. I send them out every Wednesday. This week, I have teamed up with 2 other demonstrators, Connie from Great Stamping with Connie in Canada, and Sarah from Handmade After Dark in Australia. And we each take turns. This week, it's week 5. It is my turn to do the video. So you get in your email tomorrow, you will receive week 5 along with week 1 through 4. So if you're not an email subscriber, go ahead and sign up. There's a description in the link where you can do that, and you'll get this absolutely free. And you won't miss out on any of them because I always have the previous ones located. So it's just a thank you to my email subscribers. So it's absolutely free. And tomorrow I will be doing the video. All right. And then one more thing for Barn Chats is that I must talk to you about the best deal in the catalog, which is the starter kit purchase. There are 2 choices. There's 2 choices. You pay $35 and you can choose $125 product. Then on all your orders after that, you would save a discount of 20%, or you can pay $99 and choose $189. You know, I joined for the discount and for the color coordination, which I still love the discount and the color coordination. But I discovered a wonderful community and friends, and that's definitely why I'm staying, because I do believe, friendships are created one card at a time. And I would love for you to join me. And I know you have lots of choices, but I'd love for you to join my Rustic Barn Stampers. But it is such a wonderful promotion for the month of October. So definitely, if you ever thought about getting the starter kit, reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd be glad to answer them. Um, Again, in the description, you'll find about placing an order with me, and you would get the pre-cut card pieces like I shared today to make one each of the 4 cards that I made by placing a $40 order with me before tax and shipping. And if you place a $75 order with me before tax and shipping, but if you order next 3 days, you would get free shipping, then I will send you a kit to make one each of the 4 cards, plus a package of embellishments. And the ordering special this week ends on Sunday. All right. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it, for hanging out with me. I know it's a little bit longer than usual, but I appreciate it. I hope you like the cards, and have a wonderful day. Take care, and bye for now.